There was a study back in 79. It's called the prospect theory. And basically, it states that the loss of $100 in comparison is more painful than the prospect and the pleasure of receiving $300. Now, how does this relate to divorce and breakup? It shows that in our human psychology, we fear losing something we already have than the prospect of getting something better in return. And sometimes this translates to what? It translates to us staying in relationship that is incompatible with us. It stays in relationship that is toxic. It forces us to stay in relationship that we are fundamentally unhappy in. And when that relationship ends, whether that person broke up with us or vice versa, they take a piece of us with them. They not only take themselves, but they take away our identity. They take away our confidence. They take away our routines. And in the case of marriage, sometimes they take away our kids and they take away our money and our assets as well. And relating to the study, that loss is immense compared to $100, obviously. But that loss is amplified because we spent years pouring ourselves into the marriage, into the relationship, only for it to end that way. And I get it. And I know it's hard for you to accept sitting there. Maybe you're going through that right now. That's why you're watching this video. I know it's hard for you to sit there and to hear me say that it's going to be all right, that you're going to pull through and you're going to do fine and you're going to fight for this. Because I'm speaking not only from a coach who have helped people claw their way back into happiness and success, but for myself as well, someone who have intimate knowledge of what it's like to not only rebuild once but multiple times. But I'm here to tell you that it's not only possible, but it's the only real option that you have. I mean, look at the alternative. What is the real alternative? The alternative is just to wallow in your misery, find yourself at the bottom of a bottle of Jack Daniel or something worse, right? And we don't want that, especially if you have a kid involved, because you should always strive to be the hero in their life because they didn't deserve this mess that you and your partner found yourself in. They were just swept along, right? And that's really unfair for them. So fight for your kids. If you have kids, if you don't have kids, fight for yourself. Fight for the version of you that they robbed. I want to tell you a story to inspire you. A story about Michael. Michael is married for 24 years. He lived in a 3-bedroom house in a nice part of town with his ex-wife. Has 2 kids with her. After 24 years of marriage, there was infidelity involved and she split. She took the kids and Michael became a part-time dad. He rented a 750 piece of shit studio in downtown and his whole life was turned upside down. He almost lost his job, but somehow he's persevered. Fast forward 2 years later, Michael got a promotion. Michael met the love of his life, who became the mother figure to his kids whenever they come over. She loves them, she adores them. They're a big, happy family again, right? He never gave up on his kids, even though the troubles of work and balancing work and life and everything in between, he made time for his kids. And this is how he was able to achieve the situation that he currently finds himself in. Now, if you were to tell Michael The moment he moved into that studio all by himself, lying there in bed, like 2 years later, you're going to have a completely different life. But you have to continue to fight, and you have to continue to want it and to work for it. Michael may not have believed you. Michael may have been so sad and in despair that he think you're trying to mock him. Embrace the breakdown, embrace the suck. You need to build some structure, and you need to build and reconnect, not only with your friends and family, but to yourself. You need to invest in yourself. You need to think about not what you're going through currently, but what you will have at the end of this challenge. And you know what? I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm talking from a standpoint that studies prove what I'm saying to you. A study of 700 men surveyed how they felt after their breakup versus how they feel 2 years later. It's like night and day. It's like sub 40s for their level of satisfaction and happiness right after the breakup. 2+ year later, you got mid 70s. That's a huge shift. There's countless examples of people rebuilding and redefining who they are and not accepting the defeat that was handed to them because it's rubbish. Who wants it? Right? And I know it's hard. I know it takes time, and I know it's painful. But like anything in life, if you really want to achieve a certain level of satisfaction, you have to put in a certain amount of time, investment, and pain, right? Think of going to the gym, for instance. If you would just sit on your couch, come home from work, sit on your couch, eat potato chip, ice cream, you're going to get a certain result at the end of it, right? Whereas if after work you go straight to the gym, you give it a good solid hour of hard training, you come home, you put the right things in your body, you're going to have a completely different figure. It's the same thing with your mind. If you consume things that filled you with rage, filled you with negativity, filled you with anger and despair, that's exactly the result that you're training your mind to seek. More pain, more anger, more despair. But if you consume things that are positive, that are goal orientated, that are inspiring, your brain will find ways to meet that consumption that you're feeding yourself. So I told you the story of why Michael's resilience eventually earned him newfound happiness. And I told you why your pain of losing someone is so heavy right now due to the prospect theory. You have that knowledge. You know what you have to do. The only thing now is to implement it. Have a plan, have a strategy. If you want to reach out, DM me, give me a like, give me a comment, and I will respond to you. I want you to do well. I want you to heal. I want you to have a story that rivals Michael. See you later.